Welcome to another tutorial. This one's 6 steps to professional videos. I know it can be very frustrating when you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to do it. After recording over 200 different videos, I've noticed 4 different situations I always find myself in. Your first is the source, the second is capturing, third is manipulating, and then the fourth is sharing. And I tend to use these different situations a couple different times in the 6 steps that we're going to take. I have prepared an easy-to-read diagram of the recording process that we're going to use and pretty much exactly what I do to make my YouTube videos. This is on the second page of the PDF download. So let's start the tutorial. We're going to go from start to finish in 6 different steps. So the first most important thing that I find is having your instruments set up really well. And having your room sound good so it's not noisy. So maybe tune the room a little bit, add some blankets on the walls, maybe some carpets on the floors. Tune your guitar, make sure it's set up properly so it sounds nice and balanced when you record with it. And make sure you have good lighting. That is very, very frustrating. I find sunlight is the best unless you can afford a couple $100 lighting kit. So once you're done there, we move on to the second step, capture. So we're going to capture the audio and the video. So make sure if you have a pickup in your guitar, take your plug out into the preamp, and I use a K&K system. And then you go out of the K&K preamp and you plug into the hardware, and the hardware I'm using is the MBox 2, which comes from DigiDesign, and the software is Pro Tools. Now to hook up the external microphone, make sure you have the XLR plugged in the microphone, and then you take the other end and you plug it into the other input on the MBox 2. So that takes care of the audio. Now we gotta set up the third step, which is setting up your camera, the lights, making sure everything sounds good and looks good. Even take a couple of trial takes just to make sure that you're happy. So when you do get a really good take, the lighting and everything looks the way that you want it to look. So now we move on to manipulate. This is both for editing audio and video. In Pro Tools, I just use a little bit of EQ and compression and add some reverb for a little bit of space. I just bounce the cleaned out audio to my desktop on my computer so I know where it is to use it later. Then after the audio is cleaned up, I now move to Final Cut Pro for the 5th step to manipulate as well. This is just all for the video, so I adjust some colors, I maybe put some fades, some intros, outros, let people know what the video is about, maybe put some links in there. Then what I do is I import the cleaned up audio that we exported onto the desktop into Final Cut Pro, and I line it up with the audio that's on the video. And once you do that, you can actually mute the audio that comes from the video, because now you can just use the cleaned up audio that you did in Pro Tools, or whichever software you're using. Now you just make sure you export it in the file that you need to upload, and then you move on to the 6th step, and that's just to share it. And that can be sometimes a little difficult as well. Marketing is not always the easiest thing. After going through the process a few times, you start to kind of find your own comfort zones and what makes things easier for you. And I think every engineer, musician that makes it independently knows a thing or two about recording and the video process. Being unique and in shape is how people stand out as an artist or a business person. So once you get the basics down, make sure you experiment with a lot of different ideas, and it's okay to fail. The most famous minds of the world failed a lot more than they succeeded, but when they do succeed, they succeed very well. So try to look at it as a fail as a win. For more stuff like this, or touring, videos, free tabs, and updates, join my mailing list, BryanRason.ca. I also have albums for sale on iTunes and CD Baby, both originals and covers. Don't forget to check out the other sites.